Oh, William Howard Taft had a great big smile and a great big laugh, great big belly, great big thighs that slapped together when he walked by, measured in clean at a quarter ton, made the Oval Office just fit for one. No, he can't squeeze nothing past William Howard Taft. Oh, William Howard Taft got himself stuck in the back, took Secret Service and the police to prime out with a tub of grease. He had a steak dinner for the King of Spain, but nobody got to eat a thing, 'cause you can't sneak nothing past William Howard Taft.
Thank you very much. Hello and welcome to Ingenium, to the Ingenious Plus National Awards ceremony. My name is Jill Clark. I'm with the Rito Hall Foundation, and it is my distinct pleasure to be here with you all today as your MC. I'd like to start by acknowledging that we are gathered here with immense privilege and fortune on the unceded and unsurrendered territory of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe people. We're here today to celebrate innovation, and so I want to acknowledge and recognize the first innovators on this land, and that is First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island who are shining examples not only of traditional but also contemporary innovative excellence. So, we're happy to be here at Ingenium. Nous sommes ravis d'être ici parmi vous pour la cérémonie d'aujourd'hui, surtout pendant la semaine de l'innovation canadienne. Happy Canadian Innovation Week to all of us, and especially those joining us from live stream from coast to coast to coast. We're happy to have you here. Nous sommes ici pour célébrer les jeunes innovateurs qui sont des lauréats nationaux du Défi Ingénieux Plus, et nous avons reçu au-dessus de 200 candidatures, over 200 submissions of an extremely high quality. So it is extremely clear to us that Canadian youth are just a wealth of creative, entrepreneurial, and innovative spirit, and it gives us really great hope for the future and for all of the things to come. So thank you to all of you for your great, great work. I want to take a quick minute to acknowledge that we have in our midst today two already very accomplished Canadian innovators who have been so generous with their time and with their generosity of spirit to be here with us today. So I'd like to acknowledge Governor General Award winner Christian Bagg, who's here with us today. Hi, Christian. Christian is a newly minted GGIA winner. He was at Rito Hall just yesterday being recognized by Her Excellency, the Governor General, Mary Simon, for his innovation, Bowhead Reach. And I'm not going to say much more than that because Christian will be joining us on stage in a little bit. And no spoilers, we're going to save that for a little bit later. We also are very lucky to have with us the incredible Melissa Allen, Executive Director of the League of Innovators and mentor extraordinaire, who's just here in the back. Hi, Melissa. So let's learn a little bit more about Ingenious Plus with a short video. encore une fois en français? Allez. Fantastic. That was so great. I like the little plunky music that goes along with it. I'd like to welcome now the president and CEO of the Rito Hall Foundation, Teresa Marquez, to share a few words with us. Teresa, welcome.
Thank you, Jill. Merci. Welcome, everyone, to the Ingenious Plus National finalists and winners here today, along with your friends and family, guests and supporters. We are so happy to have you with us here at the Ingenium Digital Innovation Lab, a perfect venue to be celebrating this incredible accomplishment and a range of accomplishments of so many young innovators. We'd also like to welcome everyone who's joining in online. Your support, even from afar, is especially welcome. So this year, I've had the special privilege and opportunity to meet many of you, along with your families, at the regional events that took place in partnership with the Vice-Regal community in Halifax, Quebec City, Edmonton, and Victoria. For those of you who are not at those events, allow me to begin with a little bit of background about who we are at the Rito Hall Foundation. La Fondation Rito Hall est une organisation caritative nationale non partisane qui a été créée en 2012 avec la mission de bâtir un Canada meilleur, grâce à un éventail de programmes et de partenariats liés à l'apprentissage, au leadership, à la générosité et à l'innovation. We're a national charitable organization really working towards building a better Canada. We do this through a range of programming and partnerships connected to learning, leadership, innovation, and giving. Dès le début, la culture de l'innovation, c'est-à-dire l'idée que chacun peut être un innovateur ou une innovatrice, quel que soit son âge ou son parcours, a été une priorité pour nous. From the very beginning, fostering Canada's culture of innovation, the idea that anyone can be an innovator, no matter their age or stage or occupation, was a priority for us. In fact, our vision is to make sure that in Canada, innovation is contagious and inevitable. You are helping to make that vision a reality. Now in its third year, Ingenious Plus is a growing community of bright young innovators. Today is a wonderful opportunity to recognize the creativity, ingenuity, and enthusiasm of young Canadians and the ways in which innovation can help to make our communities, our provinces and territories, and the country a better place. Taking the time to recognize your achievements is so important. In fact, I think it matters more than you may believe. That much. Recognizing excellence, like we're doing today, can accomplish three things that matter deeply. First of all, it can help to bring us together as a country. Here you are, coming together as an Ingenious Plus community from all corners of this large country. Hopefully, I know you are, meeting new people, and you'll still stay connected after today. Secondly, it can instill a sense of shared pride in Canadian achievement and perhaps strengthen the bonds that unite us rather than divide us as a country. And lastly, it can serve to inspire others to take action, to put their hands up and to problem solve in their own communities. So whether you realize it or not, your vision, your creations, your solutions, and the very act of you being here today is accomplishing all of this. Your stories are being shared across the country as part of this celebration and as part of Canadian Innovation Week. I have no doubt that you will go on to inspire more young Canadians to think about problems or challenges in their own lives or families or communities and to dream up solutions just as you have. I have the immense pleasure to be here on stage to thank all of the people involved in making this wonderful afternoon possible. First of all, thank you to Jill Clark, our hostess with the mostess at the Rito Hall Foundation team, for being such a great MC. I'd also like to thank our delivery partner, League of Innovators, and the fabulous Melissa Allen, who you'll be spending some time with later this afternoon. And I'd like to thank our innovation champions, the Barrett Family Foundation, the Arthur L. Irving Family Foundation, Power Corporation of Canada, the Jackman Foundation, the Taylor Family Foundation, Donald K. Johnson, and Thomson Reuters. Thank you to all of our partners and friends who've helped to share information about Ingenious Plus. It's in large part because of your support that we've had more than 200 incredible submissions this year. Congratulations to you all. We are so impressed by your ingenuity, your creativity, and your hard work, both in the innovations that you've submitted and in the quality of everything that you've put forward. Canada is already a better country because of your innovation. So it's really an honor to have you as part of this program. We can't wait to see where you will take your ideas or what new ones you will manifest. And we will be here to cheer you on. Congratulations. Félicitations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Has anybody innovated a very sticky tape, a very sticky kind of tape? Some ideas for next year. We'll get that sorted out. All right, so it is now our time to start celebrating. So we will start with our national finalists, and we'll invite you to come to the stage and receive your certificate. So let's start with Smart Prosthetic Hands for Enhanced Living, Frank Chen, Newfoundland and Labrador. Dad, do you want to come in for the other picture? You're good? Okay, great. So. All right. Next, we have Screening for Retinitis Pigmentosa with Smartphones, Harry Nickerson, Nova Scotia. Ensuite, j'invite Maxime Michaud de Nouveau-Brunswick pour un drone qui sauve des vies. Next, we have Unmal Sharma Bhagavan Marakathalingasavam and Alexander Yevchenko of Ontario for Kultura. Next, we have biodegradable and treated wood chips as a winter alternative for de-icing road salts. Casper Dong of Manitoba. Come on up, Casper. Next, we have the Harry Ainley Pre-Medical Club with Aishat Aziz and Amtul Aleem. Aishat is here, and Amtul is joining us, I think, from Alberta. Congratulations. Hi, Amtul. Nice to see you. right. Thank you so much for being here with us, Amtul. Nice to see you. All right, we have a few of our finalists who weren't able to join us here today. From British Columbia, we have Sheeran's Son with vehicle-mounted door opening warning system. And this vehicle-mounted door opening warning system alerts both passengers inside the vehicle and approaching cyclists. The prototype was successfully tested on a vehicle, demonstrating reliable performance in preventing dooring accidents. Congratulations to Sheeran. And we also have EV conversion by Jackson Berry in Yukon Territory, a prototype of a low-cost option that will enable car owners to convert their existing gas-powered vehicles to electric. This may reduce the cost of EVs considerably and help reuse existing resources, cutting down on the overall environmental toll. Congratulations to Jackson. And congratulations to our national finalists. One more round of applause. Great job, everybody. All right, now we move on to our national winners. This is very exciting. We have all of them here with us today. So please join me in congratulating, pour commencer, Yasmine Benarous du Québec dans la catégorie d'engagement communautaire et civique pour Calmos. Next, from Saskatchewan, we have Yuri Quinn in the Climate Change and Environment category, AI QUA Savior, Harnessing Artificial Intelligence in Subaquatic Rescue Operations. Yuri, congratulations. All right, next, Miss Natalie Mitchell from Newfoundland and Labrador in the Equity and Inclusion category, Tech for Community. Congratulations, Natalie. Next, we have Kendra Nyanka of Ontario in the Health and Wellbeing category for Portable Air Quality Monitor for Outdoors and Wildfires. All right, and finally, we have Liam Poplau of British Columbia in the Technology and Entrepreneurship category for Life Heat, the self-heating survival pack that works in water. Congratulations, Liam. Okay, Liam, don't go far. All right, so I'm going to invite our winners to come up here and join me on stage. We're going to have a little chat. Come on up, you guys. Give them a little round of applause, a little encouragement. All right, so as we just saw, this is a very impressive group of young people that I have here up on stage with me today. I'm very excited, also a little intimidated, but that's okay. I want to talk to you a little bit about what you think is causing young people today to be so innovative, so compassionate, so creative. We see we have an enormous group of you here that are just doing incredible things for your communities, for all sorts of sectors across all of these different categories. What's the special sauce? What is happening here? Someone explain, how is it that young people today have this spark of innovation? Why don't we start with Kendra?
Well, thank you for
Making you go first?
Yeah,
No
thank you.
problem.
I appreciate it. I think that is a very loaded question, and I don't know if I can speak on everyone, of course. But I do think, to be honest, I think most of us here, when we invented something, we kind of see what was going on around us, and what we see was lacking in our community, because there have been so many improvements, but we also want to see what can be improved even more. And I think I can confidently say that everyone here created something for the betterment of society. So I think the reason why we see a lot of inventors, young inventors, is because we just want to make the world an even better place by observing our surroundings, and I think just continue to make the world a better place. I think I'm just saying the same thing. But
That's
yeah.
great. No, that's great. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. I'm just nervous.
No,
with Jill
please.
Clark right here. Just
Guys, stop. Liam, I see you like nodding very, in agreement. Do you want to take the mic and share a little bit about what you think is going on?
Absolutely. I think it's also due to that we're also seeing so many problems with like climate change and so many other issues that we see that we can also fix. So I think it's that we also have a little bit more self-awareness on what's kind of going on around us, and that what we can really improve in our world. Yeah.
And Natalie, you are in our equity and inclusion category. So can you talk a little bit about innovating in the equity and inclusion space?
Yeah, so my project works on adapting toys for kids with disabilities to make them more accessible for children who struggle with dexterity. And I saw a big discrepancy in the cost of those assistive devices and adapted toys. And I wanted to do something to help, especially where I had been involved in so many activities at my school, working with kids with disabilities. So I feel like for me, I started my project because of that, and being exposed to that and learning about the challenges that a lot of people with disabilities face made me want to do something about it. And I think also being on social media allowed a lot of us to be exposed to the problems that we wanted to solve and learn more about them. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think we have, as I said, Christian and Melissa are here, who have been on a long innovation journey. And I think that they would agree that innovation has lots of twists and turns. It's not linear. It's not something that looks the way that you think it's going to look. Yasmine, on va commencer avec toi. C'est quoi peut-être des difficultés ou des défis que tu as dû surmonter pendant ton voyage jusqu'à Calmos, jusqu'à ce point-là?
Oui, ok. Ben, je dois dire qu'il y a eu énormément de prototypes que j'ai fait avant d'avoir la version finale que j'ai de Calmos. Au début, moi, j'étais sûre que je voulais faire un projet pour la santé mentale. C'est un sujet qui me tient vraiment à cœur et je savais que je voulais faire un projet dans ça. Mais au début, je voulais beaucoup un peu voir la différence parce que je viens d'un milieu qui est quand même très favorisé. Je vais à une école privée, mais je sais que c'est pas une opportunité que tous les élèves au Québec ils ont. Donc mon but premier, c'était un peu de faire, c'était un projet de recherche au début, voir un peu la différence entre la santé mentale des élèves qui vont à une école privée et une école publique, et c'était quoi un peu ces facteurs qui les stressaient. Ensuite, là, quand j'essayais d'un peu voir comment je mesurais un peu l'anxiété, comment je mesurais comment va leur santé mentale, je me suis dit, mais il n'y a aucun outil pour faire ça. Aucun outil qui n'était pas qui n'était pas en fait psychologique, qui était vraiment une analyse qui était faite, qui était en fait, on va dire, objectif. Donc là, mon deuxième but de projet, c'était faire un outil pour mesurer l'anxiété. Et après, j'étais comme, OK, mais pourquoi pas un outil qui peut faire le suivi de l'anxiété? Et ensuite, à la fin, c'était pourquoi faire le suivi si on peut aider les élèves à ne pas devoir avoir de suivi, si on peut aider les élèves à prévenir les crises. Donc, c'est ça le but final de mon projet, faire un produit qui prévient les crises d'anxiété grâce à un suivi qui est préventif. C'est ça.
Très bien, merci. And Yuri, can you talk to us a little bit about maybe some setbacks, challenges, hurdles, twists and turns on your journey?
Yeah, for sure. So this whole project has to be one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, I have to say. But I think my biggest challenge was that I didn't really have any mentorship or any laboratory to work with. So I really had to rely on, things I learned in school or things I had to learn on my own. So that's a really big reason why I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much to the Riedel Hall Foundation. It's just incredible, because they're providing me with a lot of support. I met incredible people from coast to coast Canada, and I couldn't just be more happier to be here, for sure.
Okay, so I ask a question about problems, and she finishes by saying how great everyone is, and thank you so much. Lovely, lovely. All right. So we're here now, but let's look ahead a little bit to the future. What are your plans, not just for your project, but for yourself as well? Natalie, do you want to start?
Yeah, so for my project, I definitely want to expand more across the province. I'm definitely more focused in the St. John's metro area, but I want to be able to expand to more rural areas of the province as well, because they're facing the same problems that are in St. John's. I know that for the prize money, I want to get a 3D printer to be able to do more work of what I'm doing right now and be able to do it at a faster rate. And for my future, I think I want to study engineering to be able to continue to give back to my community.
Yeah. Right on, right on. Kendra, what about you for the future? For sure.
I think, honestly, similar to Natalie, the first thing I was going to do with the money was to buy a 3D printer. I think it's a common theme here. But I guess with the prize and the mentorship, all of that, I want to hopefully, as you can see, it is quite big now. Of course, make it smaller to make it more portable, as well as add certain things, add more sensors to make it personalized, like carbon dioxide and monoxide, just to see what exactly is in the air. And other things like Bluetooth connectivity and a software, I guess a more advanced software that can actually analyze the data faster. But that's all like the nitty-gritty stuff. But hopefully with this project, I want to make it more affordable and accessible just so the general public can use it, because that's the whole point of me making this. And that's what I'm going to use the prize money and the mentorship for. But also in the future, just like Natalie as well, I think I'm just copying her answer. I plan to study engineering and hopefully create or develop more inventions in the future with other people, like the one in this panel and everyone in this room. So that is more or less my plan, yeah.
It's a very good plan.
Thank you.
Liam, how about you?
Okay.
This is going to be good, I can tell.
I think first off, I'd like to work on sourcing more recycled materials as well as working on some of the design of it. After that, I'd probably look into talking to some more companies and maybe actually getting on the market, and so that life can actually save a life. So yeah, that's my thing.
Just like a casual saving of a life. It's just, regular plans. And what about your studies? What's next for you academically?
I'm really interested in science, business, economics. So those are some interests that I have, and some areas that I might want to go into for university or continue studying in high school.
Awesome, great. Yuri, I think we have to do a mic pass here. Yuri, what's next?
Well, first of all, I want to use the funding money to hopefully improve my robot, get it out to different areas, the local river that I have over in Saskatchewan, different lakes to test my robot in different qualities of water. I also want to get a 3D printer, just another one to my collection, so I can print some better prototypes, better materials as well. In terms of education, also like my fellow winners, I also hope to study engineering Hopefully it's something to do with robotics as well as mechanics.
Thank you. Yasmine, pour la suite.
Je vais continuer en répondant en français. Mais oui, donc moi, ma prochaine étape, c'est un projet pilote. Donc, je veux instaurer Calmos. Je veux déjà, pour le futur, pouvoir l'instaurer dans une école, voir d'abord la précision de mon système d'intelligence artificielle, mais aussi vérifier, en fait, si Calmos, c'est la solution la plus optimale. Si c'est vraiment ça, les outils que les travailleurs sociaux, que les étudiants, ils ont besoin. Et si c'est, je pourrais ajouter des features ou des nouvelles additions au projet pour qu'il s'adapte parfaitement à un système scolaire. Et un peu comme mes autres, j'aimerais aussi être une ingénieure. Et dans le milieu de la biomédicale, pour ensuite un peu essayer de faire d'autres projets comme Calmos. Essayer d'utiliser la technologie pour le bien de la santé. C'est ça.
Merci. Excellent. So we know that nobody gets here alone. This is like your big Oscars acceptance speech moment. Who would you like to thank? Who has supported you? Who has inspired you? Who has maybe driven you some places or, been there to get you where you are today? Who would you like to say thank you to? Well, we'll start with Yasmine and we'll work our way down.
Okay, then I would first start by thanking my mom. She's, of course, my biggest supporter, my biggest ally. Anything that was it was hard on me mentally or physically or anything, she was always there to support. But she's also the one that inspired me to start Calmos, because she's a biomedical engineer, and I always wanted to be like her and work in such have as much passion as she has for her domain of work. And I would also thank I only know it in French, but the Centre de recherche du Centre hospitalier de l'Université de Montréal. It's the research center that I partnered with to make Calmos possible, to do data collection, and also my school, Collège Notre-Dame, that also I did data collection in, and also supported me with finding human resources that could tell me what their need were, and how could I optimize Calmos to be the best product they could have.
Great. Thank you. Yuri?
Wow, I have a lot of people to thank, but I'll keep it short. Well, obviously,
we'll start playing the violin music if you go on.
You might have to, because first I want to thank my mom, my sister, and my dad. There were a lot of times in my project where I really did want to give up. My code wasn't compiling, and then my robot broke down several times. But they were always there to provide me, the support, even if they didn't really know what my project was about, or they didn't really have a clear understanding of technology in general. So I want to thank them very much for just always being there for me emotionally. And I do want to give special thanks as well to my dad, because he showed me Star Wars when I was 7 years old, and that kind of got me interested in robotics and engineering. So if it wasn't for Star Wars and for my dad, I also wouldn't be quite interested in what I do today. And lastly, I want to thank my teachers as well as some of my friends back home in Saskatoon, because they have just provided me immense support throughout, my curiosity. I always want to learn more, and they've always tried to bring that knowledge to me as well. So thank you to everyone.
Very nice. Kendra?
Yes? Oh, same question.
Yeah, same question.
Okay, well, I don't know where to start here. Okay, I think a person that I really want to thank is someone at Brock University who was, I guess, really my mentor for everything. I was into robotics before this, but he also just gave me a bit of more push to pursue this. He was kind of my back and forth. His name's Tom McDonald. I don't think I mentioned his name yet. He was my back and forth. I discussed with him, and whenever code wasn't working, I go to him. Whenever something was a problem, I also go to him. So he was kind of like my guidance towards everything during this project. So I want to thank him, and the whole Brock University electrical shop for being there to support me throughout this I guess journey to make this invention. So thank you so much, and I'm gonna visit you guys soon. So be sure to watch your doors. I don't know where I was going with that, but yes, and of course I want to thank my family who have driven me here, the 6-hour drive, and for being there mentally, and physically to support me throughout all of this. So, and they're here. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Kendra. That's awesome. Liam.
Ooh, I have a lot of people to thank. I think I'm going to start with my parents. I just want to say thank you so much. You've always been there for me, and you've always supported me through, I think it's been like a 2-3-year journey. And I just really like to thank you for all of the support you've given me, driving me everywhere, being with me for when things didn't work out, when I accidentally added a little bit too much calcium chloride into the survival pack, and it didn't work exactly as planned. I'd also like to thank one of my partners who helped create the first version of Life Eat, Fraser, and he's continued to support me for the continued versions, and continues to support me as I try and push Life Eat further. I'd also like to thank Professor Gordon Giesbrecht for giving me some information on hypothermia, Mustang survival, because they gave me a bunch of amazing advice on how I could move my project forward and improve it, especially in an area that's a little bit hard to move forward because of some federal regulations. And I'd like to just thank all the people that I haven't quite mentioned yet, but thank you so much all for your support, and it's been amazing, and thank you so much for supporting my journey.
Very nice. Natalie.
I too have several people to thank, but I'll try to keep it short. I'm first going to thank my amazing mother, who is over there recording me, for my dad, who couldn't be here today. She's an incredible human being who has encouraged me throughout my entire life to pursue my dreams. And I'm not going to say much more because I'm going to start crying watching her cry. But I also want to thank my dad for being amazing as well, and have always encouraged me and taught me so many new skills. I didn't know how to hold a drill when I started my project, and my dad showed me everything, and I'm so grateful for that. My older sister, who opened my eyes to the challenges that a lot of people with disabilities face, and for driving me to Walmart to go and shop for Peppa Pig toys. But I also want to thank Melissa Lee, who works with Brilliant Labs, for her and the company's support of my project. But I also want to thank everyone at my school and the teacher on our robotics team for encouraging me and helping me figure out things at school when I couldn't quite get it to work. But I just want to thank everyone who's helped me get to where I am today, and especially the Rito Hall Foundation and everyone that I've met over the past couple of days. Look forward to staying in touch with you guys.
Thank you. That's so nice. And like so much mentorship, teachers, moms and dads. This is kind of the common thread. So let's have a little round of applause for them. All right, you guys are here to be celebrating, not to be getting the third degree from me. So I will let you return to your seats. Thank you so much for chatting with me and for sharing your journey. We cannot wait to see what comes next. You guys are awesome. Go ahead. All right, next we have a very special treat. We are joined by Governor General's Innovation Award winner, which is hard to say, and probably even harder to get, our GGIA recipient, Christian Bagg. And let's learn a little bit more about Christian in this video.
My innovation started really in 1996, and that's when I broke my back snowboarding. I was 20 years old. As a machinist by trade at that time, I had this ability to create these things I was thinking of. So I leaned towards cross-country sit skiing. It was my chosen sport now, which is pretty funny because, you know, I was a snowboarder, mountain biker, and now I'm choosing like the middle-aged person sport of choice. But I loved it because it got me outside where I love to be. When an able-bodied person goes past a tree on cross-country skis, you know, one knee bends up and the other one straightens out a bit and you pass by and you're fine. So, but when I went by, my cross-country ski would tip sharply towards the tree, and that's where I would end up. My friends would dig me out, and we'd get to the next tree, and the same thing would happen. Through literally 100 iterations, I finally came to a point where I had created this articulating framework that would allow one wheel to go higher and one wheel to go lower, so I could traverse the side slope without tipping over. I could have one wheel go over a rock and my body stay level. I could lean into a corner. Biggest part of this is the universal access that this innovation allows. I can go to any trail if my skill allows and go mountain biking with someone. It's my way of, when my kids run off of the path, I don't say, "Oh, don't go there, Dad can't come with you." You know, I never wanted to say that. Now I just go. And that's what it means for a lot of people. Bowhead sells into 27 countries now. We've got 600 riders and counting. You see hundreds of people around the world doing things they couldn't have done with the people they used to do it with. And that's the biggest part.
Ladies and gentlemen, Christian Bag, come on up here. There you are. Hi, Christian.
Hello.
Hi. So we just had a bunch of very young, impressive innovators on stage. What did you think of them?
They're young and impressive. Holy, yeah, I mean, hats off to all of you. That's amazing. I was not that when I was your age at all. So I think to the kids that aren't as bright as you, be patient because there's hope. But for you, you've got a pretty awesome path ahead of you. It's impressive.
Yeah, I agree. So I read somewhere that you've been doing this for 20 years. So what would 20 years ago, Christian, need to hear from today, Christian?
Oh, wow. I mean, luckily, 20 years ago, Christian would have done it anyways. And I think that's the message that I would give is that, like, be patient, but be headstrong in what you want to do. And I was, like, I never wanted to work for anybody because not because I didn't want to work, but because I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And I think I heard it from every mouth that spoke, is that the passion that they have and the confidence and belief in what they're doing, and keeping with that, I think is the most important way to actually get the thing done that you're working on. There'll be a lot of input from a lot of people, and there'll be people who, don't agree with your direction, but it's taking in what you need to take in to help you move forward, and pushing away what you don't believe in, if you want to be truly innovative.
That's great. We saw with Bowhead Reach that you have had immense success establishing partnerships with government agencies, private corporations, even post-secondary education institutions, and really taking the commercialization of your innovation to market. So how do you build those relationships? What do you think is, what advice would you share about developing relationships across all those sectors?
I think the number one thing that's worked, if I have to look back on it, that's worked for me is the belief in what I was doing. And I had an experience early on that really pushed that, and I think a lot of you would have this available to you as well, given the inventions that you're working on, is the social side of it, how important it is within your community and to other people. And so I experienced a young girl who got to take a super early prototype out, and her reaction when she got back and what she said to her mother, that this was the best day of her life, that's what resonated with me more than my experience on the bike. And that's what really drove it forward. And that's how I had the confidence to tell, whether it was a government official at Parks or someone at a university or someone in a corporation that I was trying to drag money out of, was that this is important and you need to do this and you should believe me. And if you tell people that you're right, they'll often believe you're right.
Fake it till you make it. That's very good advice. We have a couple of innovations here today that touch on the disability community. Natalie, Frank as well, working with prosthetics and prototypes. What would be your advice for those looking to innovate in the disability community?
Yeah, I would say that it's not just the disability community anymore. I think it's just community. And I think that's a distinction that you need to be confident in. And because disability, it's a really broad term. I think it used to be a very narrow term, but now everybody's, nobody's 100% healthy their whole life. And, everybody's going to get older and the inevitable will happen. And it's, I think, the people's desire to stay as active and as engaged in the community as they can until that moment is what you can capitalize on, frankly, and make things, not capitalize in a monetary sense, but capitalize in a successful innovation sense, that everybody wants to keep moving and playing and doing, and it allows them to do it with the people, not just in their narrow disabled community, but everybody. And the value is there for entire families, not just for individuals.
You've told me that Bowhead works with summer interns and lots of young folks. I asked this question before, do you see this same kind of spark of innovation in this generation? What do you think is pushing young people to be so community-minded and compassionate and innovative?
Well, I think it's funny. I think sometimes, and maybe they hear it, but this wow, kids are useful now. They always have been. These are exceptional people, but I think it's very adult of us to be impressed with what they're doing. But they're just impressive people, period. I think the way social media was talked about, the way information is spread, I think intensifies and increases the pace that you can innovate and learn so quickly what has been done and tried, and maybe you can avoid some of those failures and iterations that are just dumb ideas. So I think maybe their capacity to bring in information at a faster pace speeds things up compared to, searching through the Dewey Decimal cards in a library and trying to catch up on things. So I think the speed at which, I'm guessing, the speed at which they can process information is just better than our old brains.
Yeah. Breaking news, social media is good. Yeah, very hot take here up on stage. So we talked a little bit about mentorship, and I know that you play a role as a mentor to everybody who's working at Bowhead. Did you benefit from a mentorship relationship, or have you had mentors over the years that have kind of been there to help and support you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, parents are there, family, friends. Anybody that supports you. Because I was a machinist by trade, so I worked at the University of Calgary in the engineering department at the shop. So I wasn't in engineering, but I had this sort of hack education through it. And so my boss then, I remember, you shouldn't do this, but I smoked my first cigar when his son was born, and now his son works for Bowhead. So it's, yeah, that mentorship, and you talked about the these are relationships that you're fostering and building, and you never know where they'll go.
And he's never smoked a cigar since.
Never.
So where do we go from here? You see kind of the different sectors and stages that all of these young people are at with their innovations. What advice would you give for the next steps that they're taking?
I think to truly believe in what you're doing and not be impatient about it. The other thing that I've really learned is the value of team. And I've seen it go the other way poorly for people, really bright people that had an idea that they they insulated so much from other people and protected so much that if you want to get your thing out, you have to let it out, and show people and take other people's ideas towards it. You know, don't let it dilute what your goal and what your passion is. But everybody's got, there might be anybody with an idea that will help you, and you just always have to listen.
That's great. We were thanking people earlier. I know that Ingenium was the nominating partner for Bowhead Reach in receiving the Governor General's Innovation Awards. Do you want to tell us about the great things that Ingenium is doing?
Yeah, well, it's so Ingenium, so Cedric, who works here, he contacted me a decade ago almost about acquiring this bike. And at that time, it was my bike. It was the only bike. But as far as like seizing an opportunity, I knew that having a partner like Ingenium would be really beneficial, if not in that exact moment, at some point. And so I gave him my bike. And ironically, it was a really smart thing to do because then I was left with no bike. So I had to make the next bike. And it was better, as they are. So it really was potentially a big driving force for what Bowhead has become. And now, you know, the Governor General's Award and potentially more things as we, you know, we're going to do a manual wheelchair. We did these funny little casters that don't gather hair. We've done all these things, and now there's a home for some of the beginnings of them to be sat here in history.
And like you showed like the chain reaction of innovation, like one kind of leads to the next, leads to the next, leads to the next. That's super cool. So build relationships, give away your prototypes, create supply and demand. That's great. Christian, thank you so much for being with us. I really appreciate it. And I know that all of our finalists and winners appreciate it too. Hopefully that'll get a chance to chat with you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. So we have an incredible afternoon ahead of us. There's snacks. There is also a wonderful mentorship session that will be happening with Executive Director of the League of Innovators, Melissa Allen, and our winners that will be happening just at the back of the room here. And the rest of you, your mission, as I said, is snacks. So please enjoy, get a chance to talk to each other, get a chance maybe to speak to our innovators. I know that Christian is here and willing to give you guys some words of encouragement and inspiration. So thank you again so much for being with us. The Rito Hall Foundation, Ingenious Plus, Canadian Innovation Space wishes you an excellent Canadian Innovation Week. I am Jill Clark. Thank you so much and have a wonderful afternoon.